we can see with our eyes all the transformation beginning from 2007 with European funds. In one word, another Romania. Another Romania.
Our government should have made sure that the country's image changes according to the changes that it faces.
Romania is huge, very good potential, but bad administration.
Rumunjska, država s gotovo 19 milijuna i 50 tisuća stanovnika, članica je Europske unije od 2007. Od ove godine potpuno je u Schengenu, ali još uvijek nije u eurozoni. BDP po stanovniku je 30.000 eura i niži je od prosjeka EU-a. S obzirom na 17 godina članstva u Europskoj uniji, brojke o razvoju joj ne idu u prilog. To ne treba čuditi, kaže naša kolegica, novinarka vanjske politike Radio France Internationala Anna Harrison. Startna pozicija im nije bila dobra. Prelazak iz represivnog u demokratski sustav bio je vrlo težak.
Romania comes from far, and when you keep people in such an hermetic system, such a closed system, so brainwashed, and you free them and you ask them to be like everybody else in Western Europe, they don't know how. Because the level of repression that Romania faced in the communist system was tremendous, tremendous. And what that system did to us, it is very hard to undo. And rebuilding itself from ashes with what you remember about civilization, what the foreigners help you with, it's not easy. So I don't blame Romania for taking so long to get itself back on the track.
Propušteno je prvih 10 godina tranzicije za ulazak u NATO i Europsku uniju.
Some images were shown about Romania after the 1899, and it was true. It was poor, it was underdeveloped, it was corrupted. Many orphans. It was terrible.
After the revolution, after the Romanian revolution, we was at the same level with Moldavian Republic. Probably bad, because they start to have free debates before. During the Soviet times, in Moldova was not a problem with food, with electricity, but in Romania was.
Početkom 2000-ih situacija se počela poboljšavati. Rumunjska je započela pregovore s Europskom unijom i 2007. zemlja je postala članica. Danas je Rumunjska potpuno drugačija i ekonomski razvijenija zemlja nego što je bila prije 35 godina.
Compare your country with Croatia.
It's more or less at the same level like GDP per capita. The administration in Croatia is better.
Od 2007. do danas Rumunjska je povukla 90 milijardi eura, 3 puta više nego li je uplatila u europski proračun.
There is an issue. We receive money, but there is apparently a problem of absorbing that money and of creating enough projects to use the money.
But it's not about only about the money. It's about the good policies. It's about the free market. And for example, European Union press very strong Romania to fight against corruption, to have good policy and good governance. So you are not perfect.
Rumunjska nema dovoljne administrativne kapacitete, a u zemlji i dalje ima korupcije.
It's not so strong like in past years, but still exists the corruption at the political level.
Sloboda medija slična je onoj u Hrvatskoj. Na RFI-u je imaju, ali drugdje
there are always interventions from politicians or media which is closer to certain circles than others. And there is lots of political advertising.
But we are a public service in France, and that help us to be more independent than probably than others.
Centralizacija je također i dalje snažna u Rumunjskoj. Regije nemaju prepoznatljivost, a razvoj je vidljiv uglavnom u većim rumunjskim gradovima. Ove razlike postoje još od početka 19. stoljeća. Bukurešt je vrlo razvijeni centar s BDP-om poput onih u Berlinu, Pragu i ostalim velikim europskim gradovima.
But 100 kilometers on the way began one of the poorest region in the Europe.
Ipak Europska unija je najveći investitor u Rumunjskoj, pa projekata ima diljem zemlje.
In all the regions we have projects, major projects, started from 200 million euros maybe over 500 million euros. All these projects are under preparation with Jaspers. They started at the beginning of the layup. It's a very long process because there are a lot of problems over there. They have communities that didn't have water until now. So they expect these projects from 20 years, not for 5 years.
Ulaže se u autoceste, prijevoz, vodovode, obradu otpadnih voda, gospodarenje otpadom.
I think European funds contribute at the level of the life in Romania.
What I don't like is that EU doesn't communicate efficiently what it does, because with our neighbors' influence, Mr. Putin in the East trying to convince us EU is bad, people started to wonder why are we even in the EU?
Pa evo zašto. Europskim novcem glavni grad Rumunjske, Bukurešt, doživljava svoju preobrazbu. Ima oko 2 milijuna stanovnika i jedan je od najsigurnijih gradova u Europi.
The mafia won't come to get you because we don't really have one.
Odlično povezan i moderniziran javni prijevoz, autobusi, tramvaji, trolejbusi i metro jednostavno dovode u svaki dio ove metropole, što je i najbolji način za upoznati je.
17 years ago, we have a ticket for the tram, a ticket for the metro, a ticket for the others. Now we have one ticket for everything.
We arrived to increase the number of people using the public transportation with 40% in 3 years. And we continue to work on it.
Ipak stanovnici više vole vožnju vlastitim automobilima, pa su prometne gužve na bukureštanskim ulicama svakodnevna pojava. S još novih tramvaja i linija te modernizacijom tramvajskih tračnica, stanovnike će pokušati dodatno potaknuti za korištenje javnog prijevoza. Ovaj višemilijunski grad upravo EU novcem, točnije s više od 300 milijuna eura, rješava i problem zastarjelog sustava grijanja.
Unfortunately, that system had not been maintained for years, and now we have to change all the system, and we are now at about 300 of 1000 kilometers, and in 4 years we will be at 500 of 1000.
Ovakvih gradilišta ima po cijelome Bukureštu. Riječ je o revitalizaciji i unapređenju centralnog gradskog sustava grijanja na koji je spojeno 1.200.000 stanovnika.
To be honest, the people just begin to retrust the centralized system, because they had difficulties 2 years ago, 3 years ago. They begin now to retrust the system, and I hope that in some years that will be cheaper to have heating by us, and people will come to connect and reconnect.
Bukurešt ima jednu od najvećih zgrada parlamenta na svijetu, ali ima i najveći uređaj za obradu otpadnih voda u istočnoj Europi. Nalazi se u Glini, u okrugu Ilfov, na 72 hektara gdje se u sekundi obradi 6,35 kubika otpadnih voda. S europskih više od pola milijarde eura je dodatno proširen i moderniziran, a izgrađena je jedna od najvećih spalionica otpadnog mulja u Europi.
So we have a river passing to the town, which is Dâmbovița, and it was in the 70s that the administration of that time made a wastewater system, which have a big canal under the river, and some lines that come into. At the end, which is Glina, which is close near Bucharest, they put a central, but they didn't. It started in 75, but it didn't arrive to have even a small one.
Nastavak je uslijedio u predpristupnom vremenu i sada dograđen s novom spalionicom. Bukureštu je dovoljan vjerojatno do 2050. godine.
It's a lot of sludge, but the incinerator have two components. So the first one it's also, and the second one was tested and it's functional. And for the first time they start the first flux, and if it's necessary, the second, in order to face up with this problem of the sludge.
The incinerator is designed for a limit to reach its maximum limits in 2040.
Iako se stvari kreću sporije od željenog, gradonačelnik vjeruje kako će Bukurešt i dalje napredovati.
We are, I don't know, we are 20 years after the West Europe cities that we have already their experience, the good and bad one, and I think Bucharest will be closer to that model in terms of traffic, in terms of public spaces, of the cultural events.
Rumunjska ima oko 250 km pješčane obale na Crnome moru, no loše održavanje tijekom 90. godina prošlog stoljeća, izgradnja brane na Dunavu prije pola stoljeća koja je zaustavila 70% sedimenta koji je hranio plaže, te klimatske promjene doveli su do gotovo potpunog uništenja 40 km obale.
Coastal erosion was very, very bad. It was progressive and at an alarming rate of up to 2 meters per year of basically the state surface. The Romanian state was becoming smaller and smaller by up to 2 meters per year in the coastal area. Without these works, for the next 50 years, throughout the next 50 years, all the infrastructure in this coastline and all the hotels and touristic ventures here would have been endangered. Furthermore, the biodiversity in this area, because of the change of the coastline, would be irreversibly changed.
U Kostanci i obližnjim mjestima već nekoliko godina traje opsežna, skupa i pomalo nevjerojatna obnova obale. Iz mora će biti izvučeno čak 18 milijuna tona pijeska. U more su postavljene 22 kamene prepreke koje slabe snagu valova, pa će nove plaže biti vraćene u prvotno stanje.
This is the largest environmentally oriented project developed in Romania for all of its history as far as I know.
Provodi se u fazama, a planiran je desetljećima. Sveukupno je vrijedan oko milijardu eura. Obala je već vraćena u Konstanciji 2015. 2023. u Eufori, a gradnja traje u Venusu.
Ovo iza nas je Crno more, mi se nalazimo na plaži Eforije. Prije 2 godine mjesto na kojem stojim nije postojalo. Prije 2 godine na ovom mjestu bih se utopila.
Practic, în momentul de față,
2 years ago, right there where he is standing, the water would have been 1.5 to 2 meters deep.
Adâncimea de 1,50 m, 2 metri. Acum 2 ani trebuie să vă
2 years ago, there was no beach here, and the extent of the existing beach was no further than 10 to 15 meters from those buildings on our side.
În arealul imediat al nostru.
Zbog toga ovo nije turistički projekt koji uništava prirodu kako se često prikazuje rumunjskoj javnosti. Upravo suprotno.
It's a project to protect our seaside.
About half the project has already been implemented, and during the storm from the 18th of November 2023, Mother Nature has pointed to us that where we had implemented this project, we weren't nervous, we had no issues, whereas to the south, we had flooding from the sea.
In these 2 years, all the beaches will be enlarged, and all our seaside will be protected from the erosional coasting.
It will be fine enough for us to enjoy ourselves on the beach, but it will not be fine enough to be carried by the winds, for example.
Toate celulele de plajă.
All beach cells that are being nourished in this project will mature, if you will, and will come to optimum parameters. If we're talking about the best resorts, I don't know if they will be the best, but in 25 to 30 years they might be the last beaches still available in the Black Sea.
Diferențieri între ele.
Rumunjska ekonomija ovisna je o zajedničkom tržištu Europske unije. Čak 70% njihove trgovine odvija se na tom prostoru i bez Europe, priznaju naši sugovornici, teško mogu sami. Ipak euro u Rumunjskoj još nije uveden, iako su 2016. bili blizu tog cilja. Zbog političkih previranja u zemlji i dolaska ljevice na vlast, kriteriji za ulazak u eurozonu do danas nisu zadovoljeni.
And now the deficit is huge. The public debt it's huge, and now we are far to fulfill the conditions, and probably the politicians don't want, probably because it's not popular. I don't know, because we need the reforms, and the politicians are not very happy to do the reforms.
Dodatno zabrinjava i sigurnosna situacija, to je rat na istočnoj granici Rumunjske. Zbog, kako kaže, prijetnje koja stiže iz Rusije, kolegica Ana razmišljanja o razvoju svoje zemlje stavlja na drugo mjesto.
First of all, I want to make sure that it's not going to be war. And then, of course, obviously this country will develop. And but now we go through difficult times. There are people who want to destroy the European Union, and my focus is on let's keep it together, people. Let's keep it together. Let's make sure there's not going to be war, that war stops.
I bez obzira na sve, na to što im možda vlakovi nisu kao u Beču, autoceste kao u Hrvatskoj, zgrade kao u Nizozemskoj, ako u istraživanje ove zemlje prepune raznolikosti u svakom smislu te riječi krenete bez predrasuda, zasigurno ćete uživati.
In my opinion, Romania is the most beautiful country. Like maybe you say Croatia is the most beautiful country.
It is absolutely beautiful. With the nature is fantastic, and the people are fantastic.